7 months married and my husband started monitoring my actions out of nowhere, even demanded I wear a tracking device when I go out. Now I have 2 weeks to plan my escape. I have 2 weeks to get away from my husband, plus 8 updates. Original post, April 28, 2024. I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 30 male, who I'll call Alex. Alex and I met in college during our freshman year. We started off as just friends and got married 7 months ago. I've gotten along with his family, but we aren't super close, just friendly enough. The problem is that Alex has begun to make me incredibly uncomfortable. Firstly, he started asking me who I'm meeting with, where, what we plan on doing, and how long I'll be gone every single time I leave the house without him. At first, I thought he was just being protective and a good partner just in case something happened. But then he started checking my phone after the visits, vetting and researching each of my friends as well. He's also been pushing me to link my bank account to his, saying he's in charge of the finances, even though he was perfectly fine with keeping them separate before. We fight about it almost every day. Finally, yesterday, when he was preparing to go on a work trip for 2 weeks in California, he demanded I wear a tracker so he could keep an eye on me while he's gone. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm suffocating. His family, who I've spoken to about his worrying behavior, just says he's being careful and protective, as a good husband should. I need to gather my things and find a way to be gone before he gets home. Without tipping him off, he's always said that if he ever found me cheating, he'd file for divorce the same day. He keeps a filled-out copy of the divorce papers in his desk. I'm going to submit those the day I leave. But there's so much to do. Beginning to find a new place to live, seeing if my job has any transfers available, packing and moving in 2 weeks. His return flight is May 11th, so I need to move quickly. I'm posting here because I don't have any close family, and I can't risk dragging my friends into this since we share the same friend group. I just needed a place to vent and ask if anyone has any advice on the easiest and safest way to do this. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Do not take his divorce papers to submit. Who knows what agreements or stipulations he put in there? Get a lawyer and do your own ASAP. First, contact your job and tell them your situation. They might have an immediate job opening for you. Second, contact any nearby DV shelters and ask them for assistance with your plans. Last, file a police report so they know what's going on and so your soon-to-be ex cannot file a missing persons report for you. Good luck. Absolutely this. This is beginning stages of the abuse cycle. Constant checking and tracking you is abusive. Pressuring you to combine finances is abusive. Try to get into your local DV shelter ASAP. Have a to-go bag ready, important documents, and change of clothes along with money. Let your HR department know. Some places have emergency funds for employees to use to relocate quickly. Edit. Oh my God. You guys are amazing. I never even thought to not use his divorce papers. I'll check for cameras before I start packing or prepping. I may also shred his divorce papers just in case and will look into getting a lawyer for myself. I'm in a no-fault divorce state. That much I do remember, which should help. I'll update again when I know more. The tracker he wants me to use is a small clip to put on a belt or waistband. I'll wear it unless I'm going or doing something related to me leaving. No pets yet, thankfully. Now for the first update the next day. I've gotten a lot of support and helpful advice along with questions I thought I should clarify before I proceed with the full update. Some people ask why I'd be hiding things from Alex regarding going out and who I'm meeting with. I don't, and I have nothing to hide. But when he begins double-checking everything, I tell him with the people I saw, down to each person I talked to and what I said, whether I sent any text messages, what I ordered to eat, how much I ate. It starts to feel like I'm slowly being pushed into a corner. It didn't start that bad, but it gradually grew worse over time. All of the Reddit subs my in-laws are a part of are related to gardening and DIY, so I highly doubt they'll see this. If they do, I'll hopefully be gone by then. I talked to my job and explained the situation to my manager. They promised to look into openings in other states and said they'll have an update for me in 3 days. I trust that my bank account is secure. He's tried to get into it before and failed. I found one camera in the kitchen, another in the living room, and one in our bedroom. I've left them in place for now and have done all other planning in the bathroom, pretending I'm taking a bath. I'm honestly staying away from DV services because my sister-in-law volunteers there and is unfortunately in a higher-up position. I have a feeling that if I showed up there, they would know in a heartbeat. I can't look for apartments until I get the update from my job. But either way, I'm still going to be leaving the state. Today before I leave, I'll be changing my phone number and carrier and wiping my laptop and all of his electronics before I go. I've met with 2 lawyers so far and had them look over the paperwork my husband prepared. Both said that it did have some clauses in it that could have caused me problems down the line. What alarmed all of us most was the fact that several of those clauses dealt with future children and not as a hypothetical. Like several of you suspected, I now believe he fully intended to get me pregnant to keep me trapped and tied to him. There are 3 other locations my job could transfer me to. As a precaution, I've started looking into all 3 cities and potential housing in those areas, just in case one of them is the one I'm sent to. Even if they don't have an opening they can push me into, I'll just quit, move, and figure things out on my own. I have enough money to live and survive for a few months until I can get another job. Unfortunately, all of our friends are mutuals and would likely be unaware of the consequences of saying or sharing anything with my husband. I don't have any surviving close family, and obviously, my in-laws are not a resource I can rely on. I am on my own other than the wonderful bonds I've begun to build here. I'll update again if I get more information or if something else happens. Otherwise, I'll update when my work gets back to me. I do plan on leaving before he returns just to make sure I'm nowhere near here by the time he gets back. I'm downvoting your post, so it's not prominent on hot trending top or front page. Please absolutely use contraception. Don't tell him you do. If you have contraception and he knows about, check for tampering. This is seriously tied to your safety. He's abusive. He will do terrible things to gain control over you. Forget the hidden cameras. The clauses he had written into the divorce papers are extremely troubling. God forbid you had signed those papers. I don't believe for a moment that your soon-to-be ex wouldn't have found a way to get you pregnant with or without your consent. I know you're pretending you didn't find the cameras, but I would recommend changing clothes either in the bathroom or the closet. That way, he can't threaten you later with naked photos. Also, make sure all of your essential documents are on you just in case you need to leave quicker than planned. I hope you hear back about the new location by tomorrow. The sooner, the better. 10 days remaining. Second update, May 1st, 2024. Good news. My job has an opening I qualify for that will not only shift me across the country but also comes with a salary increase. I've started telling my in-laws and friends that I'm planning a surprise outing for when my husband gets back just for the 2 of us. This way, people won't give me odd looks if they see me out and about. I've even gone as far as asking my mother-in-law to show me his favorite recipes. Meanwhile, I've found a moving company that, while small, is willing to work in a storm. The reason, in 5 days, we're supposed to get hit with a large storm front. I plan to shut off the breaker and say we lost power, as several people here suggested. I'll even send him a short clip of the storm if needed. All of my stuff will be moved that afternoon, and I'll be flying out once the weather is cleared enough to do so. I have a lawyer who will push my divorce through, and I've filled out the necessary paperwork so I don't have to be here for it. I'm not suing for assets or alimony, and I've shredded his divorce papers. I've set up a cheap payphone plan through Cricket until this is all over. At that point, I'll get a new carrier, number and phone. This current one is being wiped and left behind. My laptop is provided by my job, and thankfully, the IT department inspected it thoroughly. It's clean. No other electronics besides my work laptop and new phone are coming with me. If Alex needs to speak with me, he can do it through my lawyer. Not sure if anything else will happen. My fingers are crossed that he doesn't suspect anything until after I leave, and I'm not turning the breaker back on when I do. He can deal with it when he gets home. My work is covering the plane ticket, so at least that's one expense I don't have to worry about. Third update, May 8th, 2024. It's been a busy week, but I've gotten so much done. Firstly, I'm now out of the house and currently staying in a hotel while I look for an apartment. It's a big city, bustling with people no matter where you look. Back home, a pretty bad storm system hit and lasted 2 days. High winds, thunder, lightning, and even hail everywhere. I didn't take much from the house, just my documents, clothes, and important sentimental items. I left all the furniture and electronics behind. I cleaned the house top to bottom and took photos on my phone, so he can't claim I damaged anything when I left. My lawyer has already started the divorce proceedings, and my husband will be served on the 8th. His plane is due to land early in the morning, and the sheriff will be waiting for him at the house. He's very concerned about public appearances and reputation. My lawyer will also be calling him to let him know I am fully prepared to go public about his behavior if necessary to secure my freedom. I haven't told our friends or his in-laws yet. I plan to do that while he's on his flight to prevent any chance of him getting wind of it before he's served. I will be calling around and explaining the situation to prevent him from twisting it into something it's not. I don't want him claiming I had an affair or something ridiculous, so I want to get the truth out first. I'm doing okay. I'm tired, but I feel jittery and off-kilter. I keep looking over my shoulder and monitoring what I say even when I don't need to anymore. Hopefully, that will fade with time. My work is covering the cost of the hotel, and I'm working on getting everything else in order. I also need to find a new GP so I can get a full checkup just to make sure everything is okay. I don't know when my next update will be, probably when the divorce papers are officially filed or if we have to go to court to finalize everything. I'm trying to keep my head up, but it feels like I'm in a whirlwind with so many things to do and think about. I kind of thought it would be easier once I got out of the house, but while the fear is smaller, The number of tasks only seems to have grown. Fourth update a week later. Sorry I haven't updated in a while. Things got hectic and a bit chaotic, honestly. First, I'm still working on getting an apartment. I've submitted applications to 3 different places and hope to hear back soon. I'm going into work at the new location, so I don't have to burn through my emergency savings completely. I've gotten a lot of emails from Alex, his family, and our old friend group, question after question. I only sent one return email to Alex explaining that I don't believe we're truly compatible and that it's best we separate now. I told him that the way he treated me, when I had done nothing to deserve it, was just as much of a deal breaker as cheating would have been for him. I ended the email by saying I would not be contacting him again and that any further communication should go through my lawyer. To his family and our mutual friends, I typed one email explaining everything that happened and why I left. I told them I wish them no ill will, but that his treatment of me as his wife and partner was unacceptable. I also said that if Alex remarries in the future, I hope they'll support both partners, not just him. From what my lawyer told me, Alex was livid when he was served. The sheriff ended up booking him for assault on an officer and menacing due to the threats he shouted. His father bailed him out within a few hours. But with the sheriff's testimony, my lawyer believes I have a strong case for a restraining order. When Alex got back to the house, he apparently lost his temper again, breaking the dining table, destroying the TV, and putting several holes in the walls. That's according to one of our mutual friends who said Alex called him for help cleaning up. Thankfully, I took pictures of the house before I left with timestamps to show I didn't damage anything. One of the holes in the wall is at head height. Alex is 6'3" and I'm 5'4", so our friend knew that claim was false. Those photos are going to be crucial, and I'm so glad people here suggested I take them. I never would have thought of that on my own. My work won't share any details of my location as I work with high-end clients who value discretion and security. That info won't be leaked. And no, I'm not a stripper or escort. I deal with contracts, notary work, and business management. So even if Alex tries to use my job to find me, he won't succeed. Fifth update 2 weeks later. It's been a little bit, and I thought I'd answer some questions before giving my update. It may be a while after this until things change. Firstly, no, I didn't bring my car. The public transport here is good enough to use without needing one. I have secured an apartment, and the building has good security. You need a key card to enter, and there is a security guard at a desk right by the entrance. As part of my lease, I gave them a photo of Alex and his family so that even in the off chance they do find me, they won't be let in. The responses I got from the emails varied. His family said I was overreacting and that I owe Alex an apology for the problems this has caused him. The pending criminal charges put him at risk of losing his job if he's convicted. Alex sent a long email, apologizing and pleading for me to come home. He said he was worried for me and is willing to go to therapy if it will appease me. He wants us to stay together and didn't think leaving was an appropriate response to his genuine concern for my health and safety. The friends gave somewhat lacking replies, saying they didn't think Alex was ever going to hurt me and that I shouldn't let my imagination run wild. As much as I want to say I was surprised by the lack of support, I'm honestly not. He intends to fight the divorce. I'm letting my lawyer handle it, and I'm also pursuing a protective order. Once I was approved for my apartment, I also froze my credit. I've changed my phone carrier and number, and I've made sure none of my documents list Alex as next of kin or PUA. Some have asked why I'm so paranoid about Alex and his possible future actions. The answer to that is actually somewhat simple: my grandmother. I love that woman to bits. As a teen, she explained why my grandfather was never around. He was extremely abusive and manipulative, and her generation didn't really allow divorce. She wouldn't have been able to buy a house or get a good enough job to support herself and my mom. As such, she endured it, shielding my mom as best she could until my grandfather died. When I felt like I might be overreacting, I remembered how she said she wished she could have seen him for what he was earlier when she might have been able to annul the marriage. I don't know when I'll update again. Maybe when the divorce goes through or if something big happens. Until then, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Sixth update, June 25, 2024. It's been a month since my previous update, and I wanted to share what's been going on in the meantime. The divorce is proceeding. But even though I don't need Alex to agree, and he's not, it means I have to go through the courts to get it approved. As such, it could take up to 6 months to finalize even though I'm filing without claiming property, alimony, or compensation. I just want a clean break and separation. Alex has tried to use our friends to reach out to me as he doesn't want to use my lawyer for communication. He says it's disrespectful and cowardly to hide behind my lawyer instead of meeting face to face. He wrote me a letter, which he passed off to my lawyer, justifying his actions and claiming that in today's world, it's dangerous for women to be alone, which is why he was so intent on keeping me safe. He said he was trying to protect me and was hurt that I would lie and hide my dissatisfaction with the marriage and my plans to leave. I didn't reply because at no point did he apologize. All he did was turn everything around on me, saying I was being overly dramatic, emotional, and cowardly. There was a second letter from my sister-in-law. Her letter was honestly disturbing and completely justified my misgivings about ever approaching her in any kind of professional capacity. She spent 5 paragraphs detailing what a real abusive relationship looks like and insisted Alex was the furthest thing from abusive. The examples she gave were only related to financial and physical abuse, nothing like what Alex was doing. She stated that my attempts to smear her brother's name for attention and clout made me the abuser, not him. I haven't really been able to process that, admittedly. Part of me can't help but wonder if she's right. I mean, I blindsided him by leaving, and I'm refusing to speak with him at all. My old boss recommended I get into therapy after the move, and I think I need to. I've had a hard time adjusting to being on my own. I keep censoring myself, and I haven't even gone out to eat yet. I always end up worrying. What if someone sees me? What if I get in trouble for spending my own money on something frivolous? My lawyer is continuing to push for the divorce, and I shouldn't need to be physically present in court. Any meetings with the judge can be done via Zoom. I'm avoiding confrontation with Alex and his family as much as possible and passed both letters on to my lawyer in case they're needed. Our friends are mostly still trying to avoid taking sides, and I'm honestly reaching the point of just letting them go. I'm tired of trying to get them to understand. I don't know if anything major will happen between now and then, so my next update may not be until mid-November, depending on how long the divorce takes. Work is going well, and it's helpful to have something familiar to anchor me while so much is still changing. 7th update 4 months later. It's been a while since my last update as I needed to let the court step in. Alex was still unwilling to grant my request for a divorce. We started with mediated sessions via Zoom, but after 4 of them, it was decided that no compromise could be reached. The things Alex was asking for weren't just ridiculous. I'm not even willing to humor them, let alone agree to them. He wanted me to tell our friends and everyone I'd informed that I made it all up to gain sympathy. He wanted me to pay him damages for defamation and suffering, including wages he lost after being jailed for 2 days. Lastly, he demanded that I return to him and, to quote him, stop my foolish behavior and act like a proper wife and partner. Yeah, no. So, needless to say, our mediated sessions went nowhere. Thankfully, the judge isn't buying into Alex's act because, believe me, he tried. It took me far too long to see Alex for who he really is, and part of me feels like an idiot for not realizing sooner. But the judge clocked him for exactly what he is in the first meeting. Alex argued with the judge a lot. He was even held in contempt 4 times. I think that's honestly what helped push the process forward. It didn't help that Alex tried to bring in his family as character witnesses, but they were dismissed by the judge since the abuse wasn't seen or heard by them, and as such, they only know part of Alex's character. In his closing statement after approving the divorce, the judge went so far as to call Alex a narcissist and said that if Alex loved himself so much, he should marry a mirror instead. I didn't think a judge could say something like that. My lawyer just shook his head and told me not to react, so we left. So here's the update I'm sure everyone's been waiting for. I'm officially divorced. The documents were processed 3 days ago, and I'm still in disbelief. I have no contact with Alex anymore, nor do I want any. I'm not giving our friends my new contact info. I may not have replied to every comment, but I did read them all. Your repeated reminders that they weren't actually friends helped me see that for myself. Since I've moved far from that place, I'm starting over. New home, new place, new friends. It's been slow. I finally started therapy. It took almost 3 months to get in due to waitlists, and I've been going 3 times a week. It's helping, even with things I thought I'd already put to rest. Alex didn't take the divorce well. According to my lawyer, he did something at work. I don't know what, but it cost him his job. My lawyer also did something unexpected, but something I think you'll all appreciate. He took the letter my ex-sister-in-law sent me and forwarded it to the DV organization she works for, along with a formal statement detailing Alex's behavior and the judge's ruling. She's been let go. And given how tight-knit those organizations are, my lawyer says the likelihood of her getting hired again is slim to none. I actually laughed, a little teary-eyed when he said that, and added, Slim is on a leaky rowboat to China. I've been crying a lot lately, but my therapist says it's normal. It means I'm actually processing things instead of bottling them up. I'll try to update again in a month or so if my emotions settle a bit, just to share more details. But I wanted to get this out there and thank all of you for the continued support and encouragement. I appreciate every one of you. You gave me the hope that leaving him wouldn't be a black mark I'd never heal from. Work is going well, and having a routine is helping me stay grounded while the rest of my life begins to stabilize. Congratulations, OP. You're free. Now it's time for you to heal. I wish good things to come for you and that you settle into your new life well. Thank you. Part of me feels like I should notice healing, But while my therapist says it's happening, I don't see it. Not yet anyway. Hopefully soon I will. Last update, November 19th, 2024. It's been a month since I was finally able to share the success of my divorce from Alex. My mood swings are still happening, but they don't last quite as long anymore, so I'm taking that as a good sign. My therapist recommended that I sign up for some kind of physical activity to help work out and channel what she called the fight or flight instincts. So I've joined a local self-defense club, and I'm going twice a week. I felt really awkward in the beginning, but everyone has been super nice and welcoming, so it's gotten easier. It's helped, I think. A lot of my jitteriness and anxiety has calmed, and I'm sleeping better as well. I've also joined a book club. It's all online at the moment, but they're discussing the possibility of meeting in person at a local park rather than over Skype. It's hard, honestly. I feel like a kid who just changed schools, and sometimes I feel like it's either sink or swim. My therapist pointed out that if I feel like I'm sinking, I should stop, take a step back, and remind myself that I have control over my actions. If I don't like something, I don't have to do it. I can feel my emotions, but I also need to not let them control or dictate my actions. She also pointed out how I've developed a tendency to try and fix other people's bad moods. She told me they're adults, and it's not my responsibility to manage anyone else's emotions but my own. It's been hard, but I'm getting there. I think in a year, as a celebration of my divorce, I might go visit my grandmother's grave just to talk if nothing else. As silly as that may sound, I passed on your thanks to my lawyer who smiled and said, smugly, I might add, that he loves giving people who thought they were untouchable the karma they deserve. He added that he enjoys being karma's helping hand. He has kept tabs on what's been happening with Alex and his sister, just to make sure they don't try anything. According to him, my ex-sister-in-law threw a fit when she was let go from the DV center, enough that she was barred from the premises. Seems she shares some traits with her brother in terms of temper. She's now working at Lowe's, apparently. Since she was a volunteer at the DV center, she is now having to pay fines for damages she caused during the incident that got her banned. As for Alex, he's been quiet, which worried me at first, but my lawyer told me he's keeping his head down. He got another job with a construction crew, but with everything he has to pay, he can't afford to lose it. I was awarded damages for emotional distress and harm since he never physically touched me. I was able to prove my statements thanks to text records between us regarding the tracker and not leaving the house without permission. My financial situation is stable, so I didn't need alimony. My lawyer advised against pursuing it and instead focused on compensation for damages. Alex's family apparently hates me now. They've reached out to my lawyer asking him to pass on the message that I've successfully ruined both Alex and his sister's lives over my lies. Honestly, at this point, I'm getting to the point of not caring anymore. I only have so much emotional energy, and I want it for myself, not to spend on someone else, if that makes any sense. So that's where I'm at right now. It's hard coming up to the holidays and being alone. But a few weeks ago, I found a kitten in the alley next to my work. He's a tiny, raggedy little thing. He's black, long-haired, with 3 white paws, and he's missing his tail. He's got the first vertebra, but nothing else. According to the vet, his mom may have accidentally bitten it off at birth, which I didn't even know could happen, but apparently it does. I'm calling him Bandit, so I'm not alone anymore. But now I have a kitten who thinks everything needs to be hunted, including my toes. I wear slippers constantly because those little claws of his are like freaking daggers, I swear. For the kitten, when they claw you or bite you in a very exaggerated way, go, ow. Kittens are used to having litter mates and roughhousing. They learn how rough to be based on the responses they get and adjust from there. So the kitten doesn't want to hurt you. They just don't know their own strength. But the loud owl will surprise them, and they'll start to become gentler. Also, in that same vein, the best solution for an energetic kitten is another kitten. Oh, and start trimming their claws now. It will save you so much frustration down the road and also save your skin from marks. Seriously, it's a lot easier to get a baby cat used to nail trims than a grown one who can really mess you up. I may end up adopting another kitten if only to give him a playmate when I'm not home. I do know that despite a lot of assumptions to the contrary, most cats are social animals, and I don't want him feeling lonely. Thank you for the advice. I've only ever been around adult cats, so a kitten is new territory for me. Last story. My husband skipped his back surgery, and now I want a divorce. So for context, my husband, 41 male, and I, 40 female, have both had back injuries. I went to PT for my several injuries and got better. I worked my body back from pregnancies, and now I am a bodybuilder. My husband, on the other hand, has spent the last 20 years avoiding work. I can't mow the lawn. I might hurt my back. Even though you're pregnant, you have to do it because you're smaller than me. You won't get hurt as easily. I can't help with the kids. I might hurt my back. I can't clean the garage. I might hurt my back. Those are just some of the things he would say almost daily. I did hurt my back doing those things. As a 4'11" woman married to a 6'3" man, he always put much more burden on me than he was ever willing to take on himself. Fast forward to last year, his disc started breaking down, and he began experiencing constant pain. So then he helped even less than before. Around the same time, I injured my back from doing the things that needed to be done, things he never even tried to help with. We both signed up for PT. I went every week and did the workouts at home. He went once and gave up. My back got better, his didn't. I lost 20 pounds and turned my body into solid muscle. My 18-year-old bodybuilding son became my coach. I've always loved fitness. But after our twins were born 6 years ago, it was so hard to find time to work out, especially with my husband unwilling to actively take care of them. You're breastfeeding, and they only want you, so I can't help you. His back kept getting worse, to the point where he couldn't bend over at all. We consulted a surgeon, and his surgery was supposed to be 2 days ago. As they were prepping him for it, he decided he didn't want it and walked out. He claims he's not in as much pain and that for the next year or two, he just needs to keep doing what I've been doing, which, of course, means not helping with the kids or the house at all. And somehow, that's going to make him better. He's also not willing to join the gym or go to PT. It seems like he really just wants to use his back as an excuse, and I'm so over it. I'm already doing everything myself. Why should I be carrying around his dead weight too? Yesterday, I was showing off my progress, wearing pants 2 sizes smaller than last year with muscle definition across my whole body. And while I was excitedly bouncing around in my smaller clothes, he asked if I was drunk and told me I looked silly. I told him I don't really care what he thinks anymore. I'm not going to let him put me down and mock me for working on myself while he sits on his behind doing nothing. Congratulations, Hopi. I am proud of your accomplishments. Please don't let him bring you down. Wow. Your son trained you. Wow. Thank you so much. So no sex? He might hurt his back. Actually, he tells me that. We hardly ever do it anymore, maybe once a month. What do you get out of this relationship in terms of actual tangible things? Actually, at this point, not much. But having been a stay-at-home mom for years, I'm now struggling to find a stable income on my own that would be enough to support me and the kids without his income.